So, Suella Braverman won her first battle against the Labour establishment last night by getting the vote for the second reading of the illegal migration bill. And before the vote, we had a number of speeches from both sides, and one of them really stood out, and that was by Suella herself. The Home Secretary stood up, and she really didn't want to take any nonsense anymore from especially the Labour side and the Liberal snowflakey side with their virtue signalling nonsense every single time something happens in Parliament that's supposed to be on behalf of the British public, and it's supported by the majority of the British public. The establishment are so out of touch that they claim to speak on behalf of everybody else. So Suella stood up, and we're going to go to the speech and show you what exactly she said about the Labour Party and the political left in general. Let's go to the speech.
Despite our reasonable concerns that we have raised on several occasions, like my right honourable friend, the member for Whittam, before me, I am subject to the most grotesque slurs for saying such simple truths about the impact of unlimited and illegal migration.
By the way, that's a good point, because why is it that the political circus that we have, the House of Commons, the mother of all parliaments, why do they have the debates that we usually have on Twitter? Why are they having it there? You're supposed to be scrutinizing the bill, the legislation, and there's a lot of problems with the legislation that has to be sorted out before we make sure it actually happens. But no. They just call names because they're like 14-year-old children.
The worst among them, poisoned by the extreme ideology of identity politics, suggests that a person's skin colour should dictate their political views.
Yep.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I will not be hectored by out-of-touch lefties, or anyone for that matter. I won't be patronised on what appropriate views for someone of my background.
Yeah, we actually had this last night on the channel if you watched my last video yesterday, which was about a Labour member attacking me because of my skin colour, saying that, well, you can't be British. I'd be questioning someone's skin colour and say, well, in that case, you can't really be British. That is very, in fact, 1930s Germany, ironically.
Can hold. And I will not back down when faced with spurious accusations of bigotry.
Yeah.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, when such smears seep into the discourse of this chamber, as they did last week, accusations that this government's policies backed by the majority of the British people, are bigoted, are xenophobic, or are dog whistles to racists, it is irresponsible and frankly beneath the dignity of this place.
Absolutely spot on, Suella. And the reason I like this clip and this speech was because I'm sick and tired of the so-called Conservatives and the Tory party in general, especially in Parliament, playing it soft and polite and technical. Even Priti Patel didn't do this really. We didn't really have this before. You know, they usually stand up, all these government ministers, even if they have a policy that we actually like and the country is backing, the majority, they just stand up and take all the attacks. And they're not really standing up for themselves. They're not really standing up for Britain and British values. And people are getting tired of it. You must get robust. You must get angry. You must get passionate about things. If you want to defend your values, if you want to defend your policy, and I really hope that this policy works. I'm still skeptical, but I want it to work. But we need this sort of response. We need someone like Suella Braverman to actually stand up, defend herself, defend her policy, and actually say that why she's proud to be British and why she's proud to do things for Britannia, rather than just say, well, thank you, honourable gentlemen of the Labour Party. I disagree with your attack. I'm going to be saying something nice and polite in exchange. This is just tiring. And obviously, raise above the chaos and then take the high road. But at the same time, doesn't mean you have to take it. You have to completely get attacked every single time and allow the narrative to shift towards what the left wants to do. If the left-wing side, the liberal side keep calling you, a German from the 1930s, if you don't defend yourself and if you don't really attack back, then of course the mainstream media are just going to completely portray that side of the argument. You have to have counter arguments when it comes to these sort of things. Anyway, let me know what you think. I'm going to come back in half an hour with more updates for you guys. I'm Mahyar Tousi, and we are the media.